Hi, my name is Kat and I am here at the first of our virtual Boost Hustle Hub event at Ruby's Bar in Larne. Today I'm going to be interviewing Marty McNally, who is a graphic designer by day, but he also juggles his side hustle of being a DJ. So come with me. There you go, Marty.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned previously, we are here at the first of our Boost Hustle Hub events and I'm going to be interviewing yourself, Marty. So Marty, you may have seen, I'm sure you've seen it, it's around Northern Ireland, the promo shot of you on the billboard walking through Belfast with your headphones. How has that been being part of this campaign?
Oh, it's so weird when you see yourself on a billboard, but I like it, and it is something different. And
it's a good photo.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I feel look nice in it. It's good fun. Like, it's just so weird to see yourself on a billboard and buses and that, and everyone's sending me photos. I've seen you here, I've seen you there.
Yeah. So you're a graphic designer by day and a DJ by night. How did you get into that? How was DJing always a passion of yours? Was it always something you wanted to do?
Music was a big influence on me from a young age. Like, I loved every form of music. So I started off with guitar, then I eventually got into DJing, and it was actually my cousin and myself were doing it. We were like 15, doing like school discos and birthday parties and
you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, you do, of course. And it was just so much fun doing it because you just felt like you're controlling the room, controlling the atmosphere, and it was just great. So I just loved it, and ever from there I just kept going and going.
And you did a degree in graphic designing as well?
No, actually I done mechanical engineering.
Oh, right, okay.
But when I was at uni, I took a job as a PR in a club, and that kind of got me into the graphic design because we had no one doing it. So I got Photoshop and learned myself, then done courses online.
Right, okay.
So I was studying the degree and that and DJing at the same time, really.
And so have you ever done engineering? Have you ever worked in any engineering?
I did for 4 years before I went to uni.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and I was DJing for that as well. I done a 4-year trade. Then after that I went to uni. I took a break for a year because new city and didn't know anyone, so you can't just walk into gigs.
Yeah, you need
but
to.
I eventually did get there.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so you're a busy man. How do you juggle, your day job with your side hustle? And do you have any advice? Coffee and Boost is your best friend.
Yeah, coffee, Boost, and power naps. Yeah. That's my favourite tips there. That's what I mostly do. But I say if I was working during the day, I was DJing at night. I'd take like 3 or 4 hour nap. Then go to the gig. Yeah,
I live off naps. That's how I get through. People always say, like, how do you go from like shift work to doing other gigs and things? And for me, it is a power nap.
Oh yeah, power nap is so underrated.
I know, and a good caffeine drink. Okay, so COVID has just turned this year upside down and turned everybody's life upside down. How did you find lockdown? I know you live by yourself with your 3 dogs.
Yeah.
So how did you find that?
First week or two was grand because I don't really get much time off.
Yeah.
So I was like, brilliant, all this time off. So I just relaxed. Took the dogs out a good bit, done a bit of work in the house for myself.
Were you DJing in the house? Like, would you sort of practice?
I've done a few live streams and also just kept practicing as well.
Like on Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah. So I've done a few live streams and things like that and kept myself busy. I got myself a bit of new equipment and I was using that there just for keep practicing really because as much as like it's not the same when you're sitting in the house doing it to a camera, but it was still fun just to play about and keep things going.
Well, as you know, part of the Choose Now campaign in Northern Ireland, where Boost is going to give away up to £5,000 for people who have side hustles to maybe invest in themselves, invest in equipment. What equipment would you say for a DJ to invest in? What would be worth it?
One of the most versatile bits of equipment and best would be the Pioneer RX2. That's the thing I actually bought, and it's all built in one unit. So it's got your mixer, it's got your 2 decks, and you can use USB sticks or a laptop, and you don't have to carry anything else for gigs. You just plug straight in and play.
Handy. It's like a one-stop shop sort of thing.
It's never kind of big stuff. It's just one big thing. Go.
Happy days. And so pre-COVID, like, what would have been one of the biggest gigs you did, or what was there ever like a gig you did and you're like, this is why I got into DJing. I've made it, sort of thing.
I think there was a gig I done down in Aberdeen, Freshers Week, and we had an act on. And I remember just going up to the decks and looking, and it was only open, the club was open 10 minutes, and it was like 2,000 people in the place. Wow. And it was like an old church. Okay. So I had like people all around the balconies at the top, and had like this. So
unreal. All eyes on you.
Yeah, and it was just like, this is mad.
Yeah.
Like, I could say anything, people really cheered. It was great.
Obviously, like a DJ, what would you say your sort of qualities, or what sort of person does it take to become a DJ or be successful in that?
I think you need confidence, as you are in the spotlight when you're doing it. And if you like make a mistake or something like that, everyone does.
Mistakes are going to happen.
Everyone makes mistakes, so you just kind of need to be confident enough to play on and not worry about it. I would say you need the passion for music, because if it's something you're loving, then it becomes more fun, more natural.
You were saying as well earlier, like when it's your passion and something that you enjoy doing, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like a job. You're so into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's times where you just get up and like, I can't wait to go to this gig, and it can get to you. And then once you get there, it's like, it's gonna be class.
And then you get paid for it. You're like, this is great.
It's always fun as well. Like.
And what sort of DJs, who would you look up to, and who would sort of be like, because I know I have my idols, people that I look up to and say, oh, I'd love their job, or I'd love to be where they are. Who sort of inspires you in the DJ?
It's weird, when I started getting into dance music, it was during the 90s and early 90s, so it was a lot of that old trance,
Which still big today.
It's still massive. Like see like stuff like Ian Van Dahl, Castle in the Sky. Stuff like that. I remember loving that when I was a kid. Yeah. There's Ian Van Dahl.
Heaven is Place on Earth.
Exactly. Yeah. DJ Sammy Heaven.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like I love Sash, because I got to play him twice, and he was such a really nice guy. And I remember just hearing like when he booked him and they asked me to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. So him and him was like,
that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Just like. It was his name on the banner with my name under it.
Unreal.
And I was looking at it going like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just someone I grew up listening to.
Yeah, that is cool.
So yeah, that was a good one. From old stuff like that, like I like Sash, DJ Sammy, Ian Van Dahl. I could go. I literally could
there's
go on
so many. Yeah.
There's more nowadays. Be more to your house.
Yeah.
But I still quite like the likes of Duke Dumont. Like
I love Duke Dumont. Duke Dumont is one of my favorite. I would love to go and see him in concert. I think that would be so good.
Yeah.
Are there any gigs or any sort of festivals or anything that you would love to work at?
I say I'd love to play Tomorrowland.
I am dying to go to Tomorrowland.
I'm
dying to go to Tomorrowland. I've never been, but I would love to go.
It just looks like such a fun festival. It's just...
Yeah. Do you remember back in the day when you used to YouTube convert your music?
Yeah.
You know the way they do the Tomorrowland, like the promo video, and they play all the music the whole way through? I used to download that off YouTube, like 20 minutes of it, and just play it, like listen to it in the car over and over again. What would your advice be for a total newbie? I look at a piece of deck equipment and I'm like, I don't have a clue. So is it as scary, is it as intimidating as it looks?
No, not really. See, once you start understanding it, it looks like, oh, there's so many buttons here, there's this, but see, once you start understanding it and understanding music, then it becomes really fun and doesn't feel like a challenge. Like, it does take a wee bit of time to adapt to, because you need to understand like BPMs and keeping music in key. So once you figure that out...
What's a BPM?
Beats per minute.
Okay.
So like a standard house song would be usually about 120. So that'd be 120 beats per minute.
Okay.
So when you're mixing another song, you would find a song with similar beat.
Okay.
And similar key, then match them together.
Very good.
Which I'll be able to explain when I have the from me.
Yeah.
Right, so this will be my normal setup. Well, one of my normal setups, because it depends what venue I'm at, depends what I'm using. This here is the Pioneer DJ RX2. And all my music right now is on the wee memory stick there.
Oh, okay.
So it plugs in and reads it into the decks. This is my deck 1, this is deck 2.
So for someone who's starting off, wants to be a DJ, what would be like the essentials, core essentials that you need to make? Because obviously DJing, you need your equipment. What is essential?
Well, essential music.
Yeah.
Obviously you need music to play. Some form of decks. It doesn't matter what it is. Now it doesn't have to be anything fancy, because they all do the basics. Yeah. And if you can do the basics, then you can pretty much do anything.
Yeah. So would you have started out on something?
Oh yeah, like I had a wee cheap thing with played like CDs, and I wasn't even a proper set of decks.
Yeah.
But I started with that, and that's how I learned.
Yeah.
Had there, and of course, trusty headphones.
Headphones, yeah.
You need headphones.
Headphones are an investment.
100%.
Like I know people that buy their headphones and they last 5-6 years or so. So it's sort of, you're making that investment into yourself.
Yeah, like I've bought these headphones about 2 years ago, and every part of them is replaceable. So you can use them as much as you want and just replace parts.
Oh, happy days,
but they are good quality and they're comfy, which is the most important thing, because I could be sore wearing it for hours.
Yeah. So take us through, give us a quick rundown of some of the basics of that very complicated desk that you have in front of you.
No problem. First thing I'm going to do is hit browse. We'll go down and pick a track. So we'll go down here.
And that is all music that is on your USB?
Yes, that's on USB.
Right.
I get my music online and sort it all out on my software, which is called Recordbox from Pioneer. Then that organises everything for me in folders and artists and labels and that, and puts onto that, so this can read it. The more organised it is and easier it's labelled, you can find songs quite
the quicker it is to find.
So first thing I'll do is pick a track and load it onto deck 1. So I've picked a track here and loading the deck 1 now. I'll start playing straight away, but I've got the volume turned down so you won't hear anything. As you see, that's it started to play there. If I bring this up, now I checked that my BPM is correct, so I haven't adjusted the BPM to speed it up or slow it down. It's still in key, and now it's playing. So right now I've got my high, which we turn up. You can hear the hi-hat and low. Again, this is the mid. Does that. And the bass off, extra bass, and normal. So usually you want these just in the middle, because you don't want it to adjust it too much so it'll change the song. So once that's playing, I will load another track up into deck 2, similar BPM and about the same kind of key. So we'll load this here. So that track's playing, but you won't be able to hear it because the volume's down. So if I go to the start, when I push this here, I can hear this song and this song. So right now I'm playing this track here, and I'm going to mix in this track from deck 2. So right now you can hear the song playing. I'm going to bring in the hi-hat here in a few seconds. Now, so now the hi-hat's in, but it's subtle, so it doesn't sound like too complicated. And now I'm slowly bringing the mid in. Now I take the loop off. I can hear all the tracks slowly coming in now. And that's one track mixed. So I mixed 2 songs from the same BPM of 125. So I start with this track here and mix it across into this one. So I've just selected a second track here for this one. I'm going to put a 4-bar loop on it. It's there. Then I'm going to do timing right, so I'll count the music. 1, 2. That's it. So now it's in time, I can bring this track in. So I'll wait for the drums to kick back in this here, which is going to be a second. So again, I'm bringing this track in by bringing the mid in. And again, it's all about counting the music as well. If you know what bar you're on, then you know when it's going to change and what it's going to do. So as this basically mixed in, it's going to slightly fade out here. And that's all the track brought in now. This is the BPM, so this here will adjust the speed of the song. So if you listen here, so hear how slow it went?
Right.
Now it's going faster.
Right.
So this is like adjust the speed and the tempo.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what that does there. Obviously that's my play button, the Q button, so pause, Q. Again, what I'll do now is I'll bring another track in. So again, I'm going through here to select a track. So I'll go down to the R&B playlist. I'll throw a bit of, let's see, yeah, songs about the same BPM there. So what I'm doing now is pausing the song here. And again, it's in time. I have to wait until the song's about to come in. So we've got the music again. 1, 2, 3. So again, I'm taking down the high, mid, and low. Now I put a filter on it, which will filter out. That's that there. I've actually got the crossfader turned off. Some people like it, some don't. I personally have it off because I like using the volume keys here. So that's my personal taste, but there's no right or wrong way of mixing. As long as everything's in time, and then beat, it sounds good. That's all it is. How I know beats per minute is, thankfully with the new equipment, you can actually see on the screen. So I can see right now in the bottom corner here, this song is 125. But back when we done final, you didn't have the screens. So you have to do everything by ear, which is a different level and a lot harder than using this kind of thing. Originally, back in the day, like when I was done final nights, we used finals for records. So it was just turntables and a mixer. There was no screens, there was nothing like that. Everything was done by ear. And you basically had the beat match by using your ear. So you had to count the beats, then adjust it in time. These here are your drop wheels. So if I put my hand this one here, because I'm on final mode, it'll stop. So you can adjust it. And outside here, you can adjust this by slowing it up, or sorry, speeding it up, or slowing it down by. So when you're beat matching and you're a wee bit off, you can use this to adjust it. People just think you just play a song, and it's a lot more than that. You have to play the song that suits the mood. So depending on the room and what kind of people are in, you have to play to them. So you're kind of thinking, right, what is the next song? What will get people dancing? What will keep people on the dance floor? What will keep people in the building? So you have to play to that, and each track needs to be the right track. Everyone does come up to DJ and goes, I guess here. It's very rare you're sitting scratching like that. Scratching is one of the things would be more in R&B DJing. But you scratching is when your pulse feeder and your decks, and you like use your left deck or your right deck and flick it across like that there. Mine's turned off right now, but that's how you would do it. So this track here is house, which would be one of my favourite kind of music to play. I love playing house, but again, I always mix up. I don't just stick the house in one night. I'll play a bit of like electric dance, I'll play a bit of R&B, I'll play a bit of pop. Again, depends on the mood in the night, but me personally, I like playing house. That's my favourite kind of music to play. I just love the piano, the beat to it, and just I love how happy it sounds. There's nothing better when you put a song on and you see the whole crowd lift their arms up and go crazy because it's such a good song and it makes them feel happy. I love that feeling, watching them react in a positive way to a song I played. It's just such a nice feeling. Sometimes you know a song's going massive, could be massively charged or whatever it is, and you could play a wee bit of that, just a wee tease, and you see people get excited for it, and you keep teasing it in and building it in, and that way there, they know it's coming, and they're waiting for it to drop. So when you do drop it, it just kicks off the dance floor, and it's like, oh, it's so good to see that. One of the things I will always say is know your audience, because there's a song you might love, but not everybody else is going to love that, and you can't play that. So look at the crowd, see what they're feeling, tease it, test things, and if something's working, use that to your advantage and play that kind of music or that kind of song, whatever it is, to keep the dance floor going. Reading the room is one of them things where I had a kind of idea what would go down well, but as the more experience you got, the more I kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work, and you can look and see what's younger clientele, will play more chart and house or whatever it is in R&B. Or if it's an older crowd, maybe you have to go back to like 80s or 90s or whatever it is. You have to adjust your music to the room. Everyone loves that Love Inc Superstar, and it is, I could play it 100 times in a night and people still love it. So DJing is very competitive, but to make your own stamp on it, you have to know what tracks to play or when to play them. Like everyone has their own kind of style. Like someone could be a bit more into R&B, someone could be a bit more into house, someone could be a bit more into trance. But if you have your own wee unique style, your own wee songs that you play when no one else would play, but it still works, that's a key to it. I like dropping in some songs that normally you wouldn't hear on a night out. Like sometimes I drop in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme, and that some reason goes down mad. There's other times I drop in, depending on the crowd again, I would drop in like Builter by Jerry Cinnamon. And again, that's just an acoustic song, it's not really a dance song, but people absolutely love it. When DJing, this can look scary because there is like 100 buttons on it. Once you get yourself familiarised with it, it's not overly hard. If you keep an eye on your BPM and your tempo, which is this here, if you keep that, learn how to use that, you learn how to keep that into it, it'll be your best friend. Over here you have your play and cue button, which obviously you need to play. If you can learn how to use these two here, and the loop button, when you put a loop on, it repeats however long you want it for the same time over and over again. So a loop essentially can be a 4-bar loop, would be 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can put a loop on a song, then it makes it a lot easier to mix. So learn your loops, learn your key and tempo, and learn when to cue tracks. All the bars who have live music should have an entertainment license which lets you play tracks. As long as you're paying for your tracks, and I always say pay for your tracks because you get the best sound quality, pay for your tracks. I get most of my songs from djcity.co.uk. It's a website where you pay £60 every 3 months. You can get unlimited tracks, but you get remixes, you get ones with intros, you get a cappella versions for doing your own mixes with. So I do that there, but then we use a lot of other websites as well. Yeah, you can use iTunes, but again, you only get the standard radio edit most times from iTunes. So it's alright for just a quick play, but it's a bit harder to mix because there's no build up to the songs. I've got a lot of friends who bring their own music out, and well, if I can, I'll play their songs and nights out just to help them. It's such a hard industry to get into. It's so hard to break into producing your own music. So any support is always greatly appreciated from anyone. Some of the best things to do in DJing would be check YouTube videos and watch how other people do their things. You'll see them, maybe someone use a cue button where some other people maybe use the deck like this and let go. You'll see different people doing different things, but you like watch videos, then practice on your own stuff. And if you practice, you'll learn your own style. Some of my most difficult experiences of DJing is equipment failure, because it happens to everybody. It could be something simple as one speaker doesn't work, or your whole deck just turn off, but you just don't panic and you're okay. I've had some brilliant nights, I really have, and I honestly couldn't pick a favourite, but I started a year before COVID. I flew over to Newcastle for a gig in a nightclub called Riverside, and it was just brilliant. Before the doors opened at 10 o'clock, there was 400 people outside, and by the end of the night, the whole club was sold out, and that was just pre-COVID. So looking back at that, it makes me miss DJing so much right now. Right now, the live music and event industry in Northern Ireland is struggling due to COVID. It is the hardest time the industry's faced in recent memory. So it's really good to see people still producing music on Facebook, streaming on Twitch. Anything at all is helping the music industry right now, and it's a big thing. I might only be you sitting watching someone or doing a stream, but it's keeping the music alive, and that's really important right now. Just because we can't play live gigs doesn't mean you can't practice or start. If you can practice in the house and learn your tools and learn your keys, then by the time things do come back to normal, you'll be ready to go. So right now, if you're trying to get in DJing, don't be discouraged by what's going on. Get your tools, get your decks, whatever you're using, and start practicing and keep practicing. Because right now, the music industry needs more artists, more support. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. And I really hope to see everyone gigging again soon.
Okay, so that was an unreal set, Marty. What would be your top tips for somebody who was trying to get into DJing?
Love what you're doing, feel the music, and never give up.
That's an important one, never give up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Okay guys, so that's us all wrapped up here of our first of our virtual Boost Hustle Hub events. If you want to learn how you can get your hands on some of that £5,000 that Boost are giving away, go to choosenowi.com and you can learn how. Marty, thank you so much for letting me interview today and showing us into the world of your side hustle. So, cheers.
Cheers.